Hey, Brookside and Berkeley. I am so excited for another year with you guys. We are going to have so much fun. But for today, I just want to start off by doing something that I call a book talk. Because you guys now, you're in grades 3, 4, 5. You guys are beyond picture books, I think most of you. You're ready for chapter books. But the thing with the chapter book, I can't read the whole chapter book to you guys. I don't have time for that. I can't just sit here and read an entire book to you on a video. That's just crazy. And I'm sure you wouldn't be all that interested in that either. So what I do with chapter books is I do a book talk. I tell you a little bit about the book. I read maybe a little chapter from the book, and then I don't tell you any more because my hope is that after I do my book talk, you'll be interested in the book and then you'll want to read it. And the book that I'm book talking today is one of my favorites. It's called 11 Birthdays, and it is written by Wendy Mass. She is an awesome writer, my friends. Anything she writes is fantastic. I highly recommend all of her books. This one, however, is one of my favorites, partly because it has time travel in it. And I think time travel is something so interesting, so fascinating, and I like the way she does it in this book. It's a little unusual. So I'm going to start off by just reading the first chapter, in which two babies are born and a very mysterious old woman visits those babies. Let's see what happens. All right, chapter 1, 11 years ago, Willow Falls Birthing Center. The oddest thing about Angelina D'Angelo was that no one could remember a time when she didn't live in Willow Falls. The oldest man in town, Bucky Whitehead, swears Angelina was an old lady when he was a boy, but when questioned, Angelina just smiled. Angelina, small and swift, was moving even faster than usual because today was the day she had been waiting for. She had been waiting a long time. Her volunteer badge securely fastened to her hip pocket, she whooshed down the hall of the Willow Falls Birthing Center and stopped short in front of the nursery window. Pressing her hands against the cool glass, she searched the faces of the newborn babies until she found the two she was looking for. First the boy, pink cheeks, a mop of black hair, clenched fists, and then in the next bassinet the girl, a thin coating of blonde fuzz on her head, a sweet smile on her lips. Angelina knew it was just gas, but that smile told her a lot. It told her all she needed to know. She stepped back and waited. A few minutes later, the two mothers appeared from different directions, wheeled up to the window by their happily exhausted husbands. The younger of the two women had her dark curly hair pulled up into a loose ponytail. The other, a blonde with a fashionable bob, had already changed out of her hospital gown into a running suit. The men nodded politely to each other. No one noticed Angelina. She had perfected the art of blending into the background. "Which one's yours?" the dark-haired woman asked. "That one," the blonde said, pointing to the little girl who was rubbing her closed eyes. "She's our second. We have a 2-year-old at home." The other woman smiled. "She's precious." Then she pointed to the boy who was now happily sucking his fist. "That one's ours. He's our first. But we want lots more kids, right, honey?" She reached up for her husband's hand and squeezed it. "Let's see how this one goes," he said, laughing kindly. A soft, strong voice from behind them asked, "What have you decided to name them?" The four craned their necks around, surprised to see Angelina. They had thought they were alone in the hallway. The boy's mother replied, "Leo, after my husband's great-grandfather, Leonard Fitzpatrick." The girl's mother said, "That's funny. We're naming Amanda after my husband's great-grandmother, Amanda Ellerby." The men were suddenly struck with an uneasy feeling, like they were remembering something out of a storybook someone read to them when they were children. But the old woman was talking again, so they shook off the feeling. "Being born on the same day is very special. I believe Amanda and Leo will be the best of friends." She said this very confidently. "You will be sure to celebrate this day together every year, no? The day of their birth?" Sure," the mothers promised, smiling graciously at each other. Neither really meant it. "A very wise decision," Angelina said with a quick nod. "Blessings to all of you." A moment later, she whooshed back down the hall and out of sight. "That was strange," said Amanda's father. "Angelina's an odd one," said Leo's father, "but I'm sure you know that. She's lived in Willow Falls forever. Amanda's parents shook their heads. We just moved to town a few months ago, her mother said. My family used to live here, Amanda's dad added, but my parents moved away before I was born. We really don't know anyone. So Leo's parents told them the important things, like where to find the best pizza, who offered the best prices on diapers, and when they parted, neither expected to see the other again. They were wrong. All right, well, that's the first chapter, okay? So basically, we have two babies, a boy named Leo and a girl named Amanda, who are both born on the same day in the same hospital. And it just so happens the next year, they celebrate their birthday together. And they become best friends, and they celebrate their birthday together every single year up until their 10th birthday. And on that day, they have a fight. And that whole next year, they're not friends anymore, and they don't talk to each other. But something happens on their 11th birthday, and both of them end up having to relive the same day, their 11th birthday, over and over and over again until they fix their friendship. And like I said, there's a little bit of time travel in there, a little magic in there, and it's a really, really great story. So if you are interested, this is 11 Birthdays by Wendy Mass. I will say anything Wendy Mass writes is good, okay, guys? So you can't go wrong with a Wendy Mass book. I will be back again next week with more fun stuff. Bye, guys.